And in that moment, I knew Darkthrone was the answer. Metalheads, welcome to Grafikmetal, where metal is celebrated with design in mind. And this is Grafikmetal's review of Darkthrone's latest. By Darkthrone, a blackish, doomy, proggy metal album released on April 26. Branding and design has always been an emphasis and strength of the band, and this one is no freaking different. Badass album title and cover, fuck yeah. And the intricate, evil, subliminal, yet beautiful album cover design is immaculate. Love how it fuses and fits right into the band logo, which is, of course, iconic. And one of the few, hard to digest, scribbles in the black metal scene band logos that I've always loved, because I think the web-like fangs coming off the root of the font has always suit them well. It's something that can be, if used wisely, which oftentimes has been with them, can be extremely effective. It feels like one intentional work of art, being able to fuse it together so well like they did. I love the intricacies of the webbing, and if you look closely, there are some really fun elements to it. Love how it comes off as like a hybrid between a spider web, a spatial star solar system, and human, animal, and machine, all fused together. It's beautiful. The coloration is perfect, not completely flat, but stark enough to keep the theme of the darkness, the mysteriousness of the feeling of a void in space, right? And at last, but not least, the actual album title design, which is phenomenal. Great teaching moment for everyone out there. Difference between good and a great idea. They easily could have taken that graphic, which, note, by the way, is located on the bottom right of the album cover, and just kind of blown it up and used it as the album cover, and it would have been okay. Most bands, 99% of the time, would have done that. But they didn't do that. They opted to keep it as the secondary element, which I love. I say this all the time: be proud and stand by your artwork, which you need to care for and put effort into just as much as the music itself. Don't be a Chinese restaurant. Sure, the food itself might be good, but who on this gracious earth would ever take one look at the photos on your menu and think to yourself, oh gee, yeah, I'm excited to eat that. Oh my gosh. This album stands by the cover art, which is, it's beautiful and should be seen in all its glory. So yeah, to put the actual title formatted as this secondary, thing that you're going to digest is exactly what it should be. I mean, in general, think of visually like this. It should always be cover art first. What is it that you're actually presenting? Where's the story that you're going to tell? And then the album, band, name, and title after. That order doesn't matter so much because it depends on what you're trying to go for, and also depends on how much of a following you have already as a band. Second, I love that they didn't just, stick the album title name like 99% of albums out there, just slap it on there. No, they went the extra mile and did a whole other graphical design element specifically just for that. And I love the circular, angular format of the text, along with the Earth, the planet-like graphical element. Yes, chef's kiss. And as for the band themselves, for those not familiar, this is a dynamic duo from Norway. As a duo, they've been active since 1994, of Friends on drums and vocal duty, and Nocturno Koto on guitar, bass, and keyboards. That's, of course, their band names. Their real names are Gleiv and Ted. They've actually, as a full band, they've been active since 1986 and have released now 21 studio records. Have always been active and have always leaned a little bit more onto the proggy and art, opting to evolve and explore their sound on each new record. As for the latest one and the tracks on it, I'm not a big fan of track 1, Howling. It just doesn't do a great job setting the stage for the album. Second one, Eon 3, is a mid-tempo, like doomish, heavy metal rager with howling, singing, and some innovative riffing. Love it. Black Dawn Affiliation is a mid-tempo blackened thrasher and comes with just a killer, abstract, mysterious, artful video that I highly recommend checking out. It just really adds a nice layer and vibe to it. I love it. It's immaculate. Also worth noting that Friends almost kind of has like a choir-like singing a little bit on this one, which is a nice touch. The Bird People of Nordland, finally a song with some pace, which intrigues me, as it is essentially the only fast-paced Blackish song on the entire album. So you could argue in many ways that this album does the complete opposite of 99% of metal albums out there. It uses the fast-paced song as if it was like the ballad or the slow song that they often just slab in there as a pace setter. This will probably piss off a lot of fans, but I actually think it's classic Darkthrone and creative genius move. Kudos, boys. You always seem to got some tricks up your sleeve, and I've always admired your creativity as a band. You never know what you're gonna get with them, and I love that. It's why I always get excited for every new release, because I don't know what it's gonna be like. And in that moment, I knew the answer, and in that moment, I knew Darkthrone was the answer. Just kidding. And in a moment, I knew the answer is the actual song title. It's a short, almost Black Sabbath-like instrumental. That and the production in general it feels like the whole thing is like Black Sabbath's debut from 1970. It's old-timey, and this time around, they focused entirely on that proto-metal, doomish, stoner metal vibe, and it's kind of cool. It's awesome. The heavy hand is straight up again. It's Black Sabbath. This one, though, feels more like from Masters of Reality. And finally, the epic closer, The Lone Pines, with the last half of the song being the best musical output on the entire disc, and really pays off the cover design really, really well. I highly recommend reviewing it at the same time with the musical sequence, particularly 6:25 minute mark onward. What's also nice of this song is its juxtaposition between like dark and eerie, along with like upbeat, melodic, heavy metal guitar riffing and just rhythmic solo that's like happy and dark, like fusing together. It's a perfect ending. As mentioned, the album is straight out of early 70s proto-doom metal like Black Sabbath, which means oldies will instantly love it because of the nostalgic feeling of the warmth it will present to your heart. But newbies coming to it after just listening to an overproduced mechanical machine riddled high endorphin addicted hardcore album will probably really struggle with it. you're just gonna feel like it's flat, you know? This is an album we should buy, listen to on vinyl, in other words. With that said, as much as I love almost everything about it, design, production, concept, and the wicked badass song titles, I actually wish it was a tad longer. The vocals and the songs as individual tracks were a little bit of a letdown. There weren't as many great moments as there tends to be with them, but I will cut them some slack. This is a band, like I keep mentioning, that's a little more proggy and creative. They have creative wits to them, and I'm always going to support that creativity, which is amazing. So with that said, Grafikmetal rating, I'm going to give this one an 86. And that was the list. Until the next time, keep on rocking. Cheers.